Hello, this is Jen, and thanks so much for joining me on the Not Too Shabby channel on this beautiful Sunday evening. I am creating a few cards using the June box of the month, which was so fabulous that it already sold out. So you can check and see there might be some individual items still left. When I checked yesterday, there were some left. So if you go ahead and check out the website, you might be able to grab some of your favorite paper pads and stamp sets. I am basically doing the same layout for 3 different cards today with each of the stamp sets that are included in the box. So for the first card, I am using the stamp set that is called Be Happy. And I've gone ahead and taken an embossing folder and created that honeycomb background. And then I'm going to take some distress spray and prize ribbon and spritz a little bit of that. And I'm also going to grab the salvage patina and spritz a little bit of that as well. And then I'm going to take my heat tool and dry that up and then add a little bit of more color as needed. But this for every card is basically the same process, just a different stamp and different colors. But I'm just going to quickly kind of show a walkthrough of each of them. And a lot of my panels I get on there crooked. So I'm going to go ahead and I'm taking a piece of 4 1/4 by 5 1/2 cardstock from my panel, and then the smaller panel is actually Bristol smooth cardstock, and that is cut down to, I believe, 4 1/4 by 3. And again, that's Bristol smooth cardstock just because I'm using spray and water, which Bristol takes that very well. And so I'm just kind of doing a dry run of my layout. And the strip of pattern paper that I'm using is from I think it's the Sunflowers and Honey paper pad, which when I looked is not available. So even that single individual item did sell out by itself. It is a beautiful paper pad though. But if you have this kit or are getting it soon in the mail, hopefully this will give you some ideas on some different ways to use some of the contents. And then I'm grabbing a sentiment from my stash and adding a few of this calls for confetti mix that was included in the box, and added a little bit of white splatter as well as some metallic white splatter. And that's going to finish off this first card. The blue and yellow, such a beautiful color combination and really great for creating cards for support of Ukraine. So this paper pad does have a lot of yellows and blues, really beautiful. For this next card, I'm using some pattern paper from the 6x6 Honey Bear paper pad. I pulled out 2 patterns. I don't end up using both of them. I didn't like how they layered together, and so I'm going to just end up using the floral. But for this one, I'm using kind of just a striped embossing folder for my background, and I'm going to spritz on that some of the salvage patina and some twisted citron. And then I felt the green was too much, and so I went back over it with some more salvage patina. I'll go ahead and dry that up, and then I added some distress oxide and salvage patina as well, just to darken up that blue a little bit. And then I'm following the same process as I did for the first one. I went ahead and popped up the strip of paper. And then all of my images today are Copic colored, and I use my scan and cut to cut these out. So I'm just going to start adhering all of my pieces to the card panel, starting with this cute little honey bear. And in the stamp set, this honey bear actually has a little circle that you can stamp onto his cheek, which is so adorable. I did not do that for this one, but that's what that little circle is. I wasn't so sure at first, and then I think I saw Jamie use it, and I was like, oh, that makes sense. So in case you were wondering what that little circle for in the stamp set, that works perfectly as a little blush on the honey bear's cheek. And while I'm assembling this card, I just wanted to let you know, in case you weren't already aware, which you probably are, but there are several subscriptions for the Not Too Shabby shop. There is, of course, the box of the month, which has sold out, by the way, the last several months. So if you're interested in making sure that you get one of these every month, go ahead and subscribe. And then there is also the stamp and die of the month, and then the paper pad of the month. So lots of different options to choose from with some very, very awesome products. So I hope you check those out and see what is available. And that's going to finish off that second card. So I just added a few of the leaves on the bottom, and then on the top then added that cute little is it a honeycomb? A honey hive. Beehive. Yes, that's what it's called. I added the beehive. And then for the next card, I'm using the stamp set with the gnomes in it, and then this piece of pattern paper with the sunflowers on it. For my embossing folder for this one, I am just using one. It looks like mainly daisies. This is one of the Doris embossing folders. So I'm going to go ahead and follow that same process and emboss the small piece of Bristol Smooth cardstock. For this one, I am using some squeezed lemonade and spice marmalade for my colors. This one was a little bit of a mess for me. I got ink all over my fingers, and then I ended up getting ink in other places that I didn't want it on my card. And so there's a little smudges here and there that I tried to remove as best as I could with one of the sand erasers. And that's kind of why I put that cloud up in the corner, because there's a little smudge that I couldn't get off. But basically the same process, the same layout. I'm just adding the elements around the card, and that's pretty much it. I absolutely loved making these cards. They were so fun and so easy just to take the pattern paper and match the colors that I wanted, and just a blast. So I hope you have fun with your boxes this month. Last but not least, if you liked this video or found it informative, please go ahead and give a thumbs up. Thanks so much for joining me today, and I hope to see you soon.